Closer to home, earlier today, the Alternatives Federal Credit Union and the Tompkins County Worker Center released its 2024 annual living wage report. WENY's Lindsay Madison joins us with more on what's in the report and why advocates say this matters to those who need it most. Lindsay?
Renata, in New York State, outside of the city, Long Island and Westchester, the minimum wage is $14.20. Team members who helped create today's report of the updated living wage argue no one should have to live paycheck to paycheck. Minimum wage is the lowest wage employers can legally pay their employees. According to workers' advocates, a living wage is the minimum income necessary for a worker to meet their basic needs. Workers' advocates say, based on their findings, the 2024 living wage in Tompkins County should be $18.45.
The living wage is a higher number, and it's based on a cost of living calculation, and it's based on a number of items that people need to live, including housing, healthcare, transportation, food, and other things.
Ian Greer is a research professor at the Cornell School of Industrial and Labor Relations and is the director of the Ithaca CoLab. He says part of the research of coming up with a living wage number is to show who is affected by a big minimum wage increase.
If you are a woman or a person of color, you are way more likely to make less than a living wage than if you're a man or a white person.
Greer says there are about 18,000 people in Tompkins County who make less than a living wage. Edward Eddie Moran says crunching the numbers on an increased living wage is monumental to the area. He says from his experience, the biggest change from going from a minimum wage to a living wage was that he could at least afford his bills.
I can afford enough to live on so that now if I wanted to do something over the weekend to take care of myself, I could. I could afford to get the food that I wanted instead of just the food that I could have access to at the moment, which was often food pantries. It's certainly different when you can look in your fridge and go, that's what I want to eat today.
Employers in Tompkins County would use the living wage as a guideline for how they set the bottom of their pay scale. It would be up to each employer to decide if they wanted to become living wage certified.